iRacing Network. Tonight we are at the famed Daytona International Speedway as we are set for yet another fun, exciting round, at least for us up here in the booth. Can't say it's going to be the same for these drivers out here for the Casual Sim Racers League GT Series, as we're going to be under the lights, nice and beautiful, Daytona. But as you can see, the weather not exactly so beautiful. It's a little bit of rain right now on the track. Nothing too crazy just yet. It looks like just kind of a light rain, but it's enough that wet tires are probably going to come into play here. We'll see what these drivers do. It looks like, unless my overlays are mixed up here, which it can happen with these tires. It looks like about half and half when it comes to drivers that have put in time and drivers that haven't on dries compared to wet. So maybe the dry is still viable, but I mean, looking at the bus stop there, it definitely looks like puddling up here a little bit. But either way, it's nice and dry here in the booth. Carl and I were joined by Jimmy Gover. Jimmy, I'm nice and dry. I don't know about you.
I am plenty dry. I must be on I live for that, and I live on the opposite side of Florida. But yeah, I mean, looking at the weather here and the cloud coverage, it's just the storm that just started coming through. It's 100% precipitation for at least the next 45 minutes. And they're about to get ready to start their 45-minute race here in 3. So it's going to be full downpour, raining. It's going to move from this light to probably medium and even heavy with the puddles forming. Maybe some of the drivers trying to get some times out there on them dry tires beforehand, but the wet tire is going to be the tire needed here tonight for these drivers. So right now they've got that overcast, got that storm coming through. It will pass and maybe start lighting up maybe towards the end, but they're going to have rain the whole time, though.
It looks like 34 cars set to take the green flag as of this moment, but only 28 of them so far have gotten in a time. So we'll see what they can do if they can try and finish this thing out and get some times in. But currently sitting on top of the boards, let me scroll up, but it was Chris Hamilton on top of the timing score, but still some time yet. Not sure if the fast times are still out there though, because the more rain it drops down, obviously the more tentative these drivers got to be. So maybe the drivers out there right now, some of them maybe trying to better their qualifying attempts here, and I think probably a lot of them just trying to, for lack of better words, get their feet wet and try and see how this track is going to handle under the rainy conditions.
I don't know. Get out of the car.
I mean, I don't know if I've actually, I've driven on wet tracks already. We've had a few endurance races in the wet. Certainly Spa, it seems like every time we go to Spa there's rain, but I don't know if I've actually had a chance to get out there and mix it up at Daytona in the wet.
I have had my fair share of wet races here at Daytona, and I can tell you there's a few tricky spots. Turn 1 being the main one, obviously coming off the oval, high speed up to almost 170 miles an hour, and there is a river that crosses the line right there near pit lane. I mean, you hit it, you have to float over it, and the car feels horrible. And so you start braking before to start getting it slowed down. You let off the brake, and then as soon as you get over that line of wetness, you can get back down in the brakes, and nice and easy, or you'll go flying around. If you decide to drive through that line, hit the brakes, the car starts sliding, next thing you know, you're off into turn 1, and you're gonna blow through and almost miss the infield. So. And then you'll probably get DQ'd. The other few tricky spots are obviously the International Horseshoe. It is extremely wet. It's a different driving line. A lot of drivers will go to the outside. The water sits out there, and it's hugging the inside for the International Horseshoe. The Kink is another one. Very high speed. It's just a slight little left. But if you don't slow down and bring that nose around and be easy with your throttle, you're going to go flying down into turn number 7, which isn't too bad in my opinion. And you got to be a little bit careful coming up on the oval, as there's some water sitting down there on the inside at the bottom of the track, at the bottom of right there on the apron, and then heading down on the bus stop. The curbs that you normally run over got puddles the size of the back pond, the pond in the back, so it's like a runoff or something over there. So you just got to be careful. If for some reason you hit the brakes, you slide on through, you got to be careful. They got that drive-through barrier there on the main track. It's best to just try to drive around it and you to try to keep your car under control and get back on the track. Take your slow down, just keep on moving. You know, if not, you'll hit somebody, something, or end up wrecking your car and ruining your night. So it's going to be an interesting drive here for these drivers. This is a good practice. There is a 6-hour event coming up this weekend for those that are interested. You know, they got a couple times here, multi-class, obviously with the GTPs, LMP2s, and the GT3s, but we don't need that here for CSRL. They're all driving the GT3 cars, getting ready to get underway here at Daytona.
It looks like we are officially done with qualifying now, so we got our order for the 35 drivers that are going to be taking the green flag. Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and give us a rundown of our starting order here tonight in the rain?
Yeah, quick rundown of the drivers here. Obviously split up Chris Hamilton on top with Craig Jancic on the outside, Bryce Reiner, and then Alex Hart. So those four will go head-to-head yet again here at the beginning. Kyle Cobbler, Cesar Torres, Dave Tilford, Tyler Torville, Christian Ortiz, Torres, Jim Dutton for your top 10. Stephen McLean, William Burrell, Frank Pisano, Mason Smith starts back in 14th. Bevan McCombs in 15th, Brandon Potts in 16th, Jason Phillips in 17th, Savani Madrigal back there in 18th. Steve Santana is going to be in 19th, Dean Gagliano back there in 20th, Anthony Hutchinson 21st, Herbert Pineda back there in 22nd, Eric Black, Trent Blaylock, Todd Torville, Ian Wilson, Stephen Pless, Paul Bailey, John Espada, and Jim Herrick will make up your top 30, and to finish out the rest of the field, you got Jay Little back there with Leo Gauch and Dan Morera and Rana Dilemma. So who's sandbagging today, or was it actually just can't get a lap in the rain? So a lot of talent, a lot of patience here tonight, and I think the name of the game for the next 45 minutes is survive, survive, survive.
Well, I could be mistaken, Jimmy, but I believe two of our Chris Burrell, our Charger Sandbagger Award winners, Dan Morera, ran a dilemma, and they just so happened to, wink, wink, not put in their time here for qualifying. We'll let you decide what that is, but either way, we're gonna get this thing ready to fire off, and certainly towards the front here, Chris Hamilton, he's got to get a good start and really try and figure out a way to jump Craig Jansen. Craig has just been fantastic on the starts pretty much all season and throughout his career here at CSRL. So it's somebody's got to get a jump on him on the start of this thing. Chris Hamilton has the pole. Can he get it done? Coming in to tonight, just want to double check and make sure I'm looking at the right ones here. So it is Craig Jancic leading the point standings by a mere 3 points over Mason Smith. Chris Hamilton in third in the points, and Alex Zarn and Bryce Reiner rounding out the top 5 in the platinum and the gold. It is Tyler Torville leading by 9 over Dave Tilford, Cesar Colon Torres, Stephen McLean, Christian Ortiz Torres for your top 5. And then in the silver, it is Eric Black with a nice 15-point lead over Todd Torville, Bill Burrell, Jay Little, Dean Gagliano for your top 5. But we are ready to send it on down to Barney and get our first green flag, well, our only green flag of the night. It's going to be 45 minutes on tap. Plenty of rain as we head off down into turn number 1. We're racing.
And it's going to be brave going down here into turn 1. We'll see who lets up, who keeps at it. There's not too much of a double file anywhere, so it's just got to be patience and steering the cars around. Chris Hamilton getting the preferred line here early out front, so now he's just got to take his time. Got them cold tires. They only have one lap around here, and obviously it's only at pace speed. No time to get those tires warmed up at all for them to stick. But looking through the back of the field, still looks like doing fairly well.
Steve Santana and Trent Blaylock, and a little bit off track there, but it could be a lot worse. As we head over to the Western Horseshoe now, and you see visibility not that great. You start to see some of these cars. I'm not sure if some of the drivers have their lights off on purpose or what, but certainly some of them weren't shining. But did you see something there? Because I didn't see anything on my side.
Yeah, I was looking back towards the back of the pack. It was right behind Ian Wilson, who's driving the BMW. Who is that? That's no, not Todd Torville. It's John Espada. It just came up and gave a whack to Ian there in the back bumper. just kind of slid. You know, the cold tires. That feeling as soon as you hit the brakes on water, Carl. You just hydroplane.
We were 3 wide through the corner there, and we'll take a look at the start again once we get going here and get through lap number 1 to show you how rough it is. Trying to look from the back of the pack up at all of the spray, because the rain, the water, the handling, that's bad enough, but that's really, in my opinion, not really necessarily, well, it can be the killer, for sure, but to me the killer is when you get on these kind of fresh, rainy tracks, that mist, that spray is deadly.
And Wilson going around there.
Around to complete the first lap. It is Chris Hamilton in the lead. He did get the jump that he wanted. Craig Jancic, Bryce Reiner, Kyle Koppler, and Alex Zart for your top 5 here to start this race. But as I mentioned, let's go ahead and head back and take a look from the cockpit at the start of this race and show you exactly what this looked like. We'll hop on board here with Dean Gagliano on the start of this race, kind of mid-pack, and see, not too bad right now this time by, as we're not anywhere close to the full speed that they'll be going on the first lap by, but you can see kind of how that mixes in right there, and then you click on over to lap number 1, and find someone, there we go, that is behind somebody, give you an idea of the difference. And it's a whiteout. I mean, you want to get behind somebody, you want to draft them, you want to use those taillights as a look to see, where you're going, what's going on, but then you see, I mean, you finally get that draft, you draft up to somebody, and you got to back off because you can't see anything else, but you see some close battling, some close racing right there. And really, this is where you got to get it done. You got to get it done in the slower sections of the track because, again, you can't really see anywhere else. So it's tough, and you want to talk about track position being at a premium in the rain. It definitely is.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge premium here at Daytona, during the rain anyways. You have to be confident on the track. Oh, a big wreck there, a few cars. Oh,
great avoidance right there. I believe it was McCombs that had an issue out of the bus stop. Try and see what happened here. Race some cars through the grass, and maybe got some help there from Pineda. Spins the 46 around. Pineda was still stuck back there in the grass and having to wait for everyone to come through. Still some battling going on all the way through the field.
Yeah, it's just going to be back and forth. Obviously, it's just who can make it stick in the weirdest places. Who's off the wet line? I don't know.
There's off the line right there. Brandon Boss doing a little lawn maintenance.
Sometimes when you get on the throttle and your car's going to go in the grass, you just go in the grass. I mean, it's the more you fight it, you end up wrecking. So good driving there by Brandon Potts, obviously, being able to control that car. Pushing it a little wider than it needs to be. It's a tight corner there, coming back up on the oval. Obviously bunched up here with 5 drivers. Get Jim Dutton involved there as well, and a few of the Ace Motorsports.
We'll see what happened at the Dutton there. I seen him parked by the tire barriers. Not sure if he. Oh yeah, you see him right there, already hitting some of those puddles. The car would not slow down, and whew, just a little smooch, little smooch with the tires. It's okay, nothing happened here. Moving on.
I don't know. I don't think iRacing you count that as a hit call. That was some lucky stuff there for Jim.
I mean, that's the power of being the owner of the league. That's not going to end too well. And Dutton sneaks on by that one as well. Looks like it was Sibiani Madrigal still stuck at the top of the track. We'll try and see what happened on this one. He's going to have to tone it back to pit lane, but This is coming out of the bus stop, and look at that, just getting back on the track, loses it, locks it up, but unfortunately it's kind of in no man's land right there, and big impact right there. Some of these drivers just sneaking on by.
It's a tough one here. Tonight's no easy task. The rain is as much as everybody asks for it. We need rain in iRacing. We need rain in iRacing. Well, we got it. And, sometimes I think they use it too much. In my opinion, especially for these endurance races, because they only come like once a year. If it rained, say at the Daytona 24 Hours this year, next year's Daytona 24 Hours, it should rain. But if it didn't rain this year, then next year when the Daytona 24 comes out. Oh, teammate on teammate.
Luckily for Hutchinson, he locks up. Luckily for him also, he didn't lose his rear wing.
Can't say that for the Lambo.
Was it the Lambo or was that? Now that was the Corvette there of Trent Blaylock. Backed it into the corner there, but yeah, I mean it's so tough here. I mean, you want to talk about survival, and listen, we kind of you know, as admins in core, we kind of caught a little heat, a little crap about last week. You know, we follow the same schedule as iRacing does for the events here, and so does CSRL. That's why you see on our weekly schedule it's pretty much mirrored. You know, if CSRL here tonight is at Daytona, tomorrow night that's where Core GT Series will be as well. But where we caught the crap was last week, the Bend, brand new track, and CSRL went there. They went to the international circuit instead of doing the full GT circuit like Core GT did. But Core GT also had rain in their race, and so brand new track. No idea where to go for some of the corners, and oh, by the way, you're going to deal with some rain too. But now tonight they have clear skies for Daytona. If I'm not, or not tonight, but tomorrow night they have clear skies for Daytona. So you know, at least we give them, you know, give them hell with a brand new track in rain, and then, you know, give them a little respite the next week, and let them, you know, get on a familiar track like Daytona and you know, have a little fun again. Not so much for these guys here at CSRL. They just like the torture, I guess. They give them a new track one week, then here you go. Here's a track you know, it's a track you love, and rain, and go out there and have some fun. So I don't want to hear anything from any of the drivers over at Core GT. You know, at least we give you a dry track. It's, you know, looking at it, it's a 0.7% chance of rain. So if it rains, I apologize. 0.7%. That's just the unluck of the gods, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you can see how bad the spray is. You know, drivers kind of maybe not staying in line 100%. To just be able to get a glance of where they're actually at in the track. It's tough to make that call whether you want to go too wide into a corner. You know, you got to like attempt that pass in a situation that's off the racing line. It is difficult. I mean, right now, like I said, it doesn't really get, I mean, it does get a little heavier rain in here, but it's about as heavy as you'll see it for the most part in iRacing. But Carl, it used to be worse when they first came out. So
it was.
You'd thank their lucky stars. Like, it didn't matter if you were going 5 miles an hour or 150 miles an hour. The spray was the exact same, and you couldn't see the taillights through it. So yeah, you want to talk about whiteout. I mean, even like at least now when things slow down, the spray comes down a little bit. It's easier to see the taillights. Yeah, it was super difficult when it originally came out. So they've done a pretty decent job. I think it's a pretty good reference on what it would be like, you know, while it's actually raining. So, but I think they use it too much. But I'm hoping that the new toy, the shiny new toy of rain, will get put to rest and only be that random thing that comes out once in a blue moon, not every special event.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get the it's like Black having a bit of a moment there, right in front of Jim Herrick. But I get the allure of it. I get the want to have it and everything like that. But I mean, it is absolutely difficult. It's one thing that's nice is iRacing, just like anything other time, they did their homework, they did their due diligence, and you know, it puddles in the same spots that it would in real life, and you're getting the puddles usually a lot of times on the inside there by the curbs, and that's what you got to avoid, and that's why a lot of times the racing line is not the line you want to be on, because it's usually kind of the worn inside of the track, so that's where it's going to end up puddling more often than not. So you got to drive on the opposite side of the track to get a little bit better grip, but through the corners is one thing. You're usually a little bit slower, unless it happens to be a fast kink or something like that that you're going through, like in the infield here. But it's when you're driving down a straightaway and not suspecting anything, and then all of a sudden you hit a little patch in a hydroplane, and that's what absolutely is going to kill your race, because once you start sliding sideways on these wet tracks, there's zero chance of saving it. I mean, you have a better chance on a dry track getting in the grass, even in a wet track in the grass saving it, but you try and get sideways in the rain on a wet track, on the actual track, you're just along for the ride.
Yeah, there ain't no stopping. I was actually out here today, see Pineda doing a couple 360s in the grass, so losing it coming out of the bus stop. A very tricky spot there, a lot of water sits there, really easy to hydroplane, real easy to get that car come around. He's driving that McLaren, which is easy to bring around in the first place. A lot of low torque in that thing, and every time you try to roll on the throttle, it really puts the pressure down on the rear end, and if you're not ready for it, it's going to step out. But things kind of getting a little bit a little more heated up here up front. You got Chris Hamilton with Craig Jancic right on the back bumper, so can McLaren make it around right now? But it's Jancic and Reiner both right there, chasing down Hamilton, trying to get by to take over this lead, and maybe Jancic's kind of holding on, as Chris Hamilton has had his issues with pit stops. So is it something that he's going to have issues with here tonight? With the added challenge of it being wet and rainy and all that fun stuff. But right now, he's doing great as he's out front over Craig Jancic, Bryce Reiner, Mason Smith, and Dave Tilford for your top 5.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I feel like it's a mirror image. I feel like we've seen this before. Hamilton leading in the platinum class, Tilford leading in the gold class, and the silver class being led by Burrell. But we've seen Hamilton win races. We've seen Tilford win in the gold division. What we haven't seen yet is Bill Burrell close too many of these out. He has done it before, but we've seen last week he was looking mighty fine, and here tonight, in the top 10 right now. He is in 9th place overall. The next closest one is Bevan McCombs, who had the issue earlier on, as we see another one sliding through the grass. Wasn't Jim Herrick, Todd Dorville, trying to figure out which of the Ace Motorsports it was, but William Burrell doing a great job here, losing out a couple spots here, just letting a couple of the gold drivers of Potts and Cobbler by, but great start here for the 21.
Yeah, Bill doing a good job. Obviously, to be up here in the top 10 is a good spot to be, especially when you're still out there learning. And Bill's still recovering. He had that, I don't know whether work done or just had a problem with his knee, I believe it was. So last I knew, he was still working on, getting that thing back up the snuff so he could use 2 feet again. So I don't know if he's out there with 1 foot tonight, or if he's still nursing that other leg. So hopefully he is all done and all healed up, but I guess we'll find out if we get a chance to talk to him. But right now it's like a few other cars have some issues. It's in Trent Blaylock, and then back somewhere Jason Phillips and Jay Little getting an issue as well.
This is Jason Phillips coming into the bus stop, and he's along for the ride on that one. And all things considered, you'll take that any day of the week right there. Slide through the bus stop like that and be able to lock it up, not hit anything. That was a pretty good overall save right there. Out front, getting a little close, not just for the lead, but here is the battle for 3rd place. Bryce Reiner in the teal McLaren, and then right behind him in the Acura is Mason Smith, trying to get up there, trying to find a way to gain some positions, regain his points lead as well, losing it out to Craig Jancic, and that's what he's kind of looking up at right now. Jancic in second place. He's trying to get around Reiner, but nothing doing just yet. Right behind him, we got a good battle for the lead in the gold division. Dave Tilford has it in the Porsche, but the Lambo there of Tyler Torville trying to get after him here, trying to get up there. We've seen both of these drivers have some good races lately, with Torville getting an overall podium just a few races ago, but Tilford right now holding on to the top 5 and more importantly the top spot in the gold division. But it is it's starting to really kind of reel each other back in here at the front. I mean, you look at right now, the top 6 only covered by about 5 seconds this deep in the race is a pretty good start here.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the rain holding them close together, or are they just kind of taking it easy, trying to make it without stopping? I don't think so. I think they need to stop regardless. I don't think they have enough fuel, even with the rain and the slower times, because typical laps around here, Carl, are right around, I think it's like 144, if I'm not mistaken, on dries. So dry track, dry tires. These drivers were running during practice 144s, 145s. Matter of fact, I took the Mustang out here tonight. I turned a couple mid 145s, so I haven't had the McLaren or the Ford around here in quite some time. But I wanted to try it and see how it was in the rain. It really wasn't too bad. I was kind of impressed. I was pleasantly surprised on the performance of the Ford here at Daytona in the rain. So we'll see. We'll see. But this is what they're looking at. This is crazy. The rain, the windshield. You barely see the lights. You really need to know the track, and it's probably a good thing that they're here at Daytona, as this is a tricky one here.
It seems like Mason's able to pick up the speed and get on it a little bit quicker as Reiner's going to shoot through the corner, and the pressure finally gets to Reiner. He's going to lose a few spots here, get it back on the track, but Tilford and Torville are going to get on by as well. He's going to hold off Gauscher for the time being. That's going to move Mason Smith up into 3rd position, and that's exactly what he wants. Now he's going to try and get it locked down here again and try and reel in the top 2 of Hamilton and Jancic, but he's going to worry already about the gold drivers right behind him. Dave Tilford in 4th place right behind Mason Smith. He wants to use Smith maybe to try and pull away from Torville here a little bit, utilize the draft, as we've had a few drivers come into the pits already. We're getting close to that halfway point. I want to say there may be 10 drivers in the pits. Jim Dutton, one of them, in there right now. Not exactly a great start for Dutton after qualifying up there in 10th, so hopefully after the pit stop he can get back out there and fare a little bit better in the second half. But it's been pretty fun up here at the front. It is some good battling. Right now, closest battle on the track is for the overall lead.
The overall lead is Craig Jancic will want him to take that spot away from Christopher Hamilton and try to finish it up here tonight and give himself a good finish. So we'll see how things go. Obviously Craig not having the finish he would have liked last week, so maybe trying to redeem himself just a little bit.
Going to see if either of them is going to try and short pick the other. Not this time by, as Jancic gets right up to the back bumper. Forget the mist. I guess if you're that close, you probably can't even see the mist. You're in front of the mist. But he's going to stay behind Hamilton. And yeah, you start to wonder. You mentioned it, Jimmy. This is maybe a track where they can try and stretch fuel out. I agree with you. I still don't think they can stretch it the entire length of the race. But you never know. I mean, there's so much places here to draft, especially, not so much clearly for Hamilton, but for Jancic, just kind of hanging back there this entire time, getting to draft the entire race so far. Maybe there's an outside chance of doing that. I wouldn't think that that's on the mind. I would think it's more trying to get this thing into the pits and out in front of Hamilton, which has been his bugaboo for quite some time. Hamilton, nailing these pit stops and getting the right amount of fuel to get all the way to the end. And maybe this is, at the very least, an example of Jancic saving that fuel and having to take less fuel on the next of this one and only pit stop to be able to take the lead that way.
Yeah, I don't know. I think just being out front right now and I think Chris just kind of enjoying his position right now. Obviously, he doesn't There's nothing in his way. He can see. He's not worried about any speed.
Yeah, here's Craig Jancic. Here's Chris Hamilton. Who would you rather be right now? There you go. Side by side. Which one do you want? I mean, it's clear to me which one I'd rather be at this point. But yeah, it is Hamilton in the lead right now. Pineda having some more issues as he's definitely having a rough race, and that now into to pit lane. So hopefully he's just gonna again figure it out in the second half of this race. But that's exactly where we're heading to very soon, as we are coming up on 22 minutes into this race. Hamilton going to stay out here another lap, and he's starting to stretch out his lead here a little bit. So I'm not sure if Jancic is kind of waiting back here, if he had some mistake, lost a draft, and now he can't keep up with Hamilton. But either way, this is the biggest lead that we've actually seen so far in this race, and ran into 1.7, but that is exactly
goes around.
what Mason Smith wanted to see. Tilford having some issues, so not sure if all of a sudden there's a new puddle there in turn number 1. Definitely caught up 2 of our top 5 here. Try and see. You see Jancic already way wide. Great save by him. Gets tucked back in there. But then right behind him, we'll take a look at what happened here to Dave Tilford. And just gets out there the same line there as Jancic, but just couldn't get it rolled up and turn correctly. He spins it around. And just a little smooch of the wall right there. Not going to hurt the car. Gets it back going here, but that is exactly what Mason Smith wanted to see. Now he is in second place ahead of Jancic. And it's probably exactly what Hamilton wanted to see, too. He doesn't have to deal with Jancic, but Mason Smith is hunting for another win here. Started just, back in 14th, and he's already up to second. Jimmy, I think it's a pretty good start of the race.
Yeah, had a good start, just bad, bad qualifying. So maybe because he's in the Acura here.
Well, take a look at that.
Acura's known to be pretty good in that.
The few drivers that didn't put in a qualifying lap, we talked about them going for hard charge. Well, Randall Lima up 17 spots in 17th, halfway through the field. Dan Morera up 20 spots, just in 13th right now, after starting back in 33rd. But Leo Gausha, another one that started in the back of the pack, started 32nd. He's up to 6th. 26 positions already for the driver of the 666. I say which one about Mason Smith, who actually just lost second place. Now we'll take a look at how, but Leo Gausha, what a start to the race here as he's going to bring it into the pits. Alex Zork trying to do so behind him. Looks like he did get it turned down there, but take a look and see what happened to Mason Smith. It keeps moving on me. I hate when it does that. But bad exit through the bus stop. Mason Smith going to give up second place to Craig Jancic, and going to tuck in line, but we'll take you back live now and show you it is Jancic firmly in second place. Mason Smith behind him. Chris Hamilton about a second ahead, which clearly doesn't look like much right there, and it's not under these wet conditions, but that is your top 3. Tyler Torville, Dave Tilford, Kyle Cobbler, Brandon Potts, Christian Ortiz Torres, Bryce Reiner, and William Burrell for your top 10. So the 3 division leaders all still in the top 10, with Hamilton leading, Corville in 4th, and then Burrell in 10th.
Yeah, doing a great job so far. Obviously, a lot of the drivers, just little mistakes here and there, but it's tough. They're running 2-minute laps, Carl. They're about 15 seconds off normal race pace, and I'm talking, with dry tires, not worrying about the car really kind of stepping out on you just because you gave it just a little bit too much gas. I mean, it'll still do it, but it does it a lot easier. Everything is heightened. All your senses are kind of right there, and the drivers are feeling every single puddle and whatnot if they have the gear to do so, and it's a it feels, I know while I'm driving on my wheel and I hit a large puddle, the wheel just kind of starts floating like in a real car. It's really kind of creepy that they can simulate that through a video game. But down here to turn 1, obviously pretty high speed corner, and they've been doing a pretty fantastic job getting through there. You're just seeing like that one time, you know, Craig had to step out. Obviously, we're on 26 minutes left in this, or 26 minutes into the race, and you know, obviously under 20 minutes remaining. Working closer to 18 minutes left, so probably another 9 laps. Just, you know, when, you know, when do they have to come in? How much farther can they go? Let's see, what lap are they on? Let's see if I can guess. They're on lap 14, so my guess here is probably within the next 2 laps, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, it's pretty impressive how it just kind of ebbs and flows here at the front. It really seems like Jansen can get into the corners later on the braking than Chris Hamilton. But when you're watching Hamilton, Jansen, Smith up here, Tyler Torvik, gotta give it to him. He is only 3 seconds off the pace. He's only 1.5 behind the podium spots right now. These guys up front aren't really making mistakes. I mean, we've seen a little mistake by Mason Smith. We've seen a little mistake by Craig Jansen, but haven't really seen a mistake by Hamilton yet, unless he's just kind of controlling the pace at the front. Tyler Torvik is sticking with him. He is not letting them go. Tilford had that little mistake. He's back there, but really not that far. Even Kyle Cobbler, you know, actually there wasn't Kyle Cobbler, there was a lap car there, but the top 5 still, again, only separated by 8.5 seconds. Coming up to the pit stop, we don't really see that in any of the tracks that we see, you know, in the dry, let alone here in the wet. So the wet may be, of course, a bit of an equalizer. It looks like Mason Smith into the pits. Question.
Craig's in the pits. No, that's Craig.
Unless I wasn't live, but you know, did something happened to Mason Smith because he is falling back here a little bit. Tyler Torvik talked about him. That's a broadcaster's curse right there. Yeah, try to look and see what happened to Mason Smith here. Really slow out of the bus stop. Gets passed by Tyler Torvik. That's a couple times how he's dealing with a little bit of issues coming out of the bus stop. So he is back a little bit now. 3.8 seconds behind Chris Hamilton.
Yeah, huge puddle on the exit of the bus stop going up onto the oval. It takes a lot of patience, and you really got that car just kind of literally float over the puddle, and don't put too much power. You can go around, so it's better to be a little slower, lose some time, and be able to continue than put it in the wall. Next thing you know, your night is done, or you're trying to lift it back to the pits to get that fast repair.
Right now, Hamilton leads the way. He's yet to come into the pits. The leader from pit stops is Craig Jansen. He's back out there on the track in 7th position. Waiting to see our leaders come into the pits. Chris Hamilton, Mason Smith yet to come in, coming into the bus stop right now. Let's see if they can handle this bus stop a little bit better this time. Hamilton doing a fine job. You gotta wonder though what the short pit of what the short pit of Craig Jansen's gonna do, but Johnny spotted down there on the grass potentially. Maybe he's going to keep it down there. We'll see if Hamilton comes in this time by Mason Smith, 3.6 seconds behind, gaining a little bit on this lap, but in will be Hamilton, trying to get in as fast as he can, get everything that he can all the way to the line. He's got to find a way to get out in front of Craig Jansen. Mason Smith now takes over the lead as he's going to go another lap. Take a look and see where Jansen is coming through NASCAR 3 and 4 right now, with Hamilton still coming down and now into his pit. So it's such a long exit because you got to keep it down on the inside of 1, 2, and 3 there, as Jansen now coming down across the line. Hamilton, you see Jansen there across the line. Hamilton coming out. He's got traffic in front of him. See if that holds him up at all. It's going to be close on the exit. Pit road speed all the way through here. Jansen is going to get it done here. You see him on the left. That is the battle for the lead. And Hamilton is going to lose out. He's going to make the pass here on the exit, but he sees the lead slip away. He's got to get these tires fired off and catch up to Jansen as quick as possible.
Yeah, probably cooled down just a little bit as it came down for fuel for the rest of this race, but pit stop yet again, just kind of, I don't know if it's you know, what the difference was. Let's see if we can see here.
Pit lane time, we'll take a look at it right here. And you can see it actually, look at the pit time.
Yep.
There we go, pit time, you see it right there. Jancic in his pit box, 11.6 seconds. Chris Hamilton, 13.1, 1.5 seconds. It's a huge amount. I mean, we've seen it here. We've seen what 1 second looks like. It's the difference between the lead or not. And that's exactly what happened to Jancic get to the lead right now. He is 2.1 seconds ahead of Hamilton. As Hamilton trying to get those tires back up to, the correct pressure, and it's just, it's amazing. You got to feel for Hamilton at some point, because over and over and over again, whether Jancic's leading and comes into the pits, or whether he's the second comes into the pits, he's taken less fuel than Hamilton every one of these times, and it's benefiting him every time so far. Mason Smith now is going to give up the lead. He comes in, hits his marks in the pits, but Jancic already coming by the pit entry, and it should be an easy pass and into the lead here as Jancic saving what he's got for the second half of this race. See Mason Smith coming out of the pits there, but Hamilton is going to get on by here once again. He's going to fall back into second place. See where Reiner is. I believe Smith is going to get out in front of Reiner. Going to be a little close here, but yeah, you see Mason Smith on the exit there. Going to regain third place. Reiner in fourth. Behind them, Dave Tilford working his way around the lap car. He is your leader in the gold. Neil Gausha threatening to get up to the top 5, but spins out here a little bit, trying to go to the outside there of the lap car. Going to get it back going here, but still, heck of a race so far for the 666. It's, again, still up 26 spots. He's got a chance yet at the top 5. He's got the speed to catch back up to Dave Tilford. Never know what the 666 is doing, and you wonder what he could have done. He could have put a qualifying lap in, but I guess that Chris Burrell, Hard Charger, Sandbagger war, it's tempting.
Yeah, I also want to just obviously continue to give a shout out to the fans out there showing up here tonight for CSRL. Here's a tackle on the rain here at Daytona, but got a little bit of news for everybody out there. Very interested in watching racing here on CRN. We just picked up some new friends, a league called Road Speed Limit Racing. So we're going to do a double header here tonight and for the foreseeable future here on Wednesdays. So I'll probably end up stepping out just a few minutes here towards the end, right after the race, as I have to make sure everything is kind of set up over there and ready to go. So I won't be able to see the action or the ending action. I think I might be good, Carl. I really did, but then we're gonna find out.
Well, we still got some time left in this one. About 10 minutes left in this race. Greg Jancic in the lead by 2 seconds right now. Last time by, ran the fastest lap of the race, but now Chris Hamilton coming back at him here a little bit as he ran his first lap in the 157s. Not as fast as Jancic did the previous lap, but he did gain about a second on him. So this is certainly not over just yet. Jancic through the International Horseshoe. Hamilton trying to reel him back in.
It's hard. You know, because if you miss if you miss a spot, miss your breakup point by just a little bit, it's gonna send you off in the grass, and then you're just gonna lose more time. So it's really hard to gain time on somebody that's about as fast as you are. You can see there right now, Hamilton behind by about 1.7 seconds. With 10 minutes remaining, it's, you know, you're just looking at getting close to just over a tenth a lap minimal. So something needs, if Chris wants to win here today, he might need a little assistance from the 88 making a mistake, or the rain puddling up somewhere and catching him off guard.
Well, we've seen almost a mistake there going through the middle part of the track, and I've seen it a couple times. It seems like going through the kink, back end steps out quite a bit through the kink, as that was definitely a slow up there for Jancic going past the lap car there. Really going to help out Hamilton, and now he gains to 1.6 seconds, so it's a little bit closer again this lap. We'll take a look after this, after they cross the line here, and take a look at the last couple laps. The times, they are coming down here a little bit. 1.62 coming to the line this time, and get the lap times up here. See the last 2 laps right there. Lap 17, Hamilton gaining 0.8 of a second this time. Even with the traffic there, didn't hurt Jantic too much. 0.3 seconds, almost 0.4 seconds that was lost. But you see, Hamilton is definitely getting a little bit racier going into the International Horseshoe. Loses actually a little bit of time entering, but it seems like it's ebb and flow. Kind of like I said earlier, it seems like into the corners, Jantic's able to get a little bit more aggressive on the brakes and get in a little bit quicker in the corners, but then that Mercedes is getting maybe a little bit more bite out of the corners, and you see Jantic really having to kind of work it through the Western Horseshoe here, but it's working for him. It got him the lead back up to about 2 seconds. Doesn't want to have Hamilton back into his draft, and as much as you don't want to be in the draft because you can't see, it would help Hamilton get back up there. But new fastest lap of the race. It's not Jantic, it's not Hamilton, it's Leo Gausha, out to a 157.59 that last lap, trying to run down Dave Tilford, who was about 1.5 seconds slower that last lap, but he's got 7.5 seconds to make up. Time is ticking away. Can Gausha get all the way up to the top 5?
Yeah, also Dave, I know if he gets under pressure by Gausha, is that he knows like who he's racing against. So even though I'm sure Tilford would love a top 5, knowing that as long as he's in front of the other gold drivers starting for the pots, you know, he's still in a great position here for tonight to take home the win for the gold. So, but you know, we talked about a little bit earlier, still see Burrell up top, and he's back in the P14, but still on top of for the silver team. Silver
division, silver class. There we go. We'll get it one way or another. But yeah, it's definitely been a good race here for the 21. Looking like he's in line for an interview here tonight. Yeah, like Jimmy mentioned, another broadcast for us as we're slammed back. We got 7 broadcasts here within 5 days for C-Ran now as we pick up the pit lane speed. They are running the next gen cars, and tonight they are at Talladega for 67 laps, and it is it's about halfway through the season for them, but they've tried the rest, and now they're ready to set up for the best and bring on myself and Jimmy and CRN here to finish out their season.
We try it too.
You know, you lead a horse to water. You know how it goes, and. They're on board now. They've seen what we can do. Some of the drivers racing in their race over on Monday nights in the Holy Bricks Academy League as well. So, excuse me. I see some familiar faces, some other drivers out there. So, make sure you tune into them here tonight, right after CSRL as Burrell. He's a little bit wide there in turn 1. Going to hold on to it, keep it going here. Driver behind him, new to the series here, Jason Phillips. Doing a pretty good job here. Had some issues early on in the race, but got it back going here. He's in 15th position. One of the platinum drivers out there, based on his I rating. So trying to work his way back up through the field. But out front, it's no longer a 2-second lead. It is 3.6 seconds as Jantic maybe heard us on the broadcast say that Leo Gausha had the fast lap of the race. It's not Leo anymore. It is Craig Jantic on the last lap, around a 157.37. So getting close to those 56s. See this time by. It is back up into the 58s, but Lewis Hamilton not getting any time. In fact, losing, I don't know, 1.4 seconds. So this lead and potential win here for Jantic could be in the cards here tonight. 5 minutes left in the race, so need 2 more laps to go.
Yeah, I think Chris might be just kind of settling back down, maybe feeling a little defeated after leading about half the race here, and then now just needs to kind of secure a spot to take the 2nd place over Mason Smith, and at least make up some points on one of the drivers. So, and maybe fight for you know, obviously to stay in the top 3. So, but yeah, this is a challenge. It's challenge. This track it's so familiar. I don't want to say it's not challenging because it can be. With the tire model change and how these cars react on cold tires now, it really does make a huge difference the way you treat your tires. But having the rain here tonight is just such a upgrade. I would say upgrade, but a challenge. We definitely upgraded the level of challenge here tonight at iRacing. This track's also very taxing on computers. I don't know why, especially down the front stretch and turn one. And I think it has a lot to do with the grandstands, and you get the pit roads all kind of in one. Plus there's a Ferris wheel in the background. If it's daytime, there's probably a jet flying through the sky. There's plenty of things going on graphically, so it's really taxing on the computers. And you want to have as many things turned on as possible, but sometimes when you have to turn some of those things off, maybe the puddles don't show as well. And if you don't have them memorized where the troublesome parts are at, it can cause you some issues, and maybe that's what happened to some of the drivers on time. I'm trying to also see through the mist of a spray in front of you. But Craig Jancic out front with about a little over 2.5 minutes ago over Christopher Hamilton. Mason Smith's in third. Bryce Reiner's back there in P number 4. Dave Tilford is still in P number 5. Leo Gauch coming from the back, up 26 spots in the 666 in 6th. Brandon Potts is back there in 7th. Alex Zart's in 8th. Kyle Cobbler back there in 9th. Anthony Hutchinson is up there in 10th, up 11 spots. Christian Ortiz-Torres in 11th. Steve McLean, Tyler Torville, Bill Burrell in P14. Dan Marrera up 18 spots, sitting in 15th spot. Jason Phillips, Frank Passano, Randall Dilemma up 16 spots in 18th. Steve Santana, Eric Black, Stephen McCombs, a few drivers still moving up. Maybe having some issues, but we're still moving up a few spots. Stephen Plus, Jim Herrick, Ian Wilson, John Espada, Todd Terville, down a spot. Paul Bailey, Kurt Pineda, Jay Little, Savannah Madrigal, Dean Gagliano, Trent Blaylock, Jim Dutton, and Cesar Colon Torres. A few of the drivers in the bottom of the pack having bad nights. So, yeah, you just gotta kind of keep going out there and give it a try. Like I said, it's different, it's difficult, and the more you do it, the better or easier it gets. Even though you don't think it ever will, because the rain is just a constant change, and it's just when to do what at what phase of track and rain.
Well, and one thing you got to give it up to, certainly these drivers, not exactly, it just looks like half of them are just sliding through that kink there. Every time I look at the kink, it just looks like they're sideways going through there and waiting for in the grass, but somehow they're keeping it going here. But the other thing you got to give it to these people on the Ferris wheel. The Ferris wheel is still running right now here at Daytona. It doesn't matter. The rain is not going to keep the people from going on the Ferris wheel, apparently, as they've got the marbles to get on there as well in the rain. So more power to you either way. But tell you what, Jimmy, we're on, I believe, the last lap here. Actually, I got to take a look here. We got a white flag in the air. The lead has gotten smaller. We're going through the exit now of the infield. It's down to 1.6 seconds. I mean, is there maybe a little fuel saving going on here by Jancic to try and get here to the end? It is down to 1.6, coming back onto NASCAR Turn 1. I mean, maybe not just over just yet. You see Hamilton's right there. You can see Jancic, and maybe it's the mind games too. Maybe it's Jancic just pulling back a little bit, saying, "Here you go, here's a little carrot. See if you can catch me." But it's tantalizing, but going through the bus stop one more time, just needs to keep it clean. As long as he's got the fuel to get back to the line, this is all Greg Jancic here, a little bit slow through the bus stop there. It's down under a second and a half, so it's getting closer, but unless he runs out of fuel, this is all going to the 88 here again. Coming out of the final corner, heading down to the tri-oval. And Craig Jancic is going to be your winner here in the rain. Getting it done here. Chris Hamilton in second place. Mason Smith is going to come down to the tri-oval. He is going to claim the third spot here tonight. Bryce Reiner was trying to run him down, just couldn't do it. He's going to finish in fourth. Dave Tilford, top 5 overall. Good run here for the 12. Neil Gausha just coming short of the top 5, but he is your hard charger here tonight, sandbagger, or whatever you want to call him. Taking a look at William Burrell coming through the final corners here. He is in 13th position. He's got Dan Herrera right behind him. Most likely not going to put up any kind of fight here heading back to the line, or maybe drifting over there a little bit, getting a little feisty, and heading into the bus stop. Again, just got to keep it clean through here, a little tentative through the corners there. Herrera going to get a heck of a run out of the corner, going to dive to the inside here. Luckily he backed out, as Morella's got a few spots and quite a bit of time in between him and Eric Black. Just 31 seconds in between him and the second place driver in the silver division, but to the outside, Herrera for position, trying to claim it from him. Just gonna get him. In fact, I don't even know how close it was, because it's showing up as 0.00 for me on SDK. Well, we'll go ahead and take a look at what iRacing says for that one. And how about that? 0.02 of a second separating those two drivers going back to the line as Herrera claims the spot. But final drivers finishing up here tonight. Again, we'll get the top drivers in each class an interview, and then the Hard Charger Award winner here, Leo Gausha, will get him up here, as well as Jimmy is working on getting everything all set up for our second broadcast here tonight. But I want to thank everyone out there in attendance, and if you haven't done so yet, hit that thumbs up, hit that like and subscribe, and get you in touch with everything that Seaman has to offer. Excuse me, as I'm using my voice here a little bit. I gotta try and make this thing last for another broadcast. But this was a fun one for us. I don't know how much fun these drivers had out there in the rain. It can be fun at times, don't get me wrong, but it can be very, very treacherous, as we've seen. I want to shout out our sponsors, 40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 sim racing shoes, custom engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, while still providing the comfort needed for those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the original racing, or check out the latest sim racing products, including the original racing gloves for your feet. For Martin PC, they are focused on providing high quality PCs, rigs, and components at an affordable price. Your investment in your sim racing is exactly the same as racing with an actual car. They take that same methodology at Martin, from the engine, PC, to the chassis, rig, pedals, wheels, and shifter. You deserve components that match your desire to compete. Jimmy, I know you're getting ready for the other one over there, but I mean, I know that there's a lot of times where, you know, we talk about, man, it looked like it was fun out there, wish you were out there on the track. Are you saying that after this one?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I enjoy Daytona, even in the rain. Call me sick, call me whatever. It's something that I thoroughly enjoy. I know the track. I know where the puddles are. I know the flaws, and it's something that I'll sit there and I just keep analyzing the stuff. Now, am I any good? Yeah, I think I'm okay. I can get around and not wreck for a full tank of gas, so I guess that all matters. But you know, everybody makes their mistakes, and it just takes that one time of losing focus. So these guys did, I think, a fantastic job, and ready to see them get out there. But I want to say congratulations to everybody. Probably not going to catch the interviews. I do have to hop over to the other Discord. I do got the other race up there, finishing up practicing, getting ready to qualify. So again, congratulations to everybody. Thank you for stopping by here at CRN. Like I said, if you're still interested in watching more racing tonight, stop over and check out the new league that we just picked up. So they're going to run the next gen cars at Talladega.
Well, we wish you good luck getting that one started up there, and I'll certainly be over there as soon as we're all wrapped up here. But gotta get to the interviews here tonight, and we're gonna start with our winner here overall, and that is gonna be the driver of the '88, Craig Jancic. And Craig, just Another kind of ho-hum day for you, just picking up another win out here. We seen you riding behind Chris Hamilton for majority of the beginning of this race. Was that by design? Were you because it clearly looked like you had the pace once you got around him at the end? Were you just trying to save a little bit of fuel behind him?
At first, honestly, no, because I saw Mason go from, I don't know, 15th to 6th in
he was
a lap
coming
and a half, it felt like. So at first, no, I was pressing. And then when Mason got there, he also settled down. So I was like, all right, well, maybe this isn't the worst idea ever. And I did kind of settle down. I even came on the radio to Chris and I was like, I'm going to have to up the aggression here a little bit, I think, to be able to continue to give myself a chance to win this race. And he kind of settled down. I made a huge mistake in turn 1. And Mason got position on me, but then he made a mistake on the very same lap out of the bus stop, and it was a clean wash. So, I don't even. I attack rain races verbally just as much as I do on the track. I really can't stand it. I think it ruins everything. But I don't know. I guess today went well because maybe we give enough practice to Daytona when we're running the 24-hour in our various cars, trying to make sure that we have our bases covered if there's any wet weather coming. And maybe that actually had a really positive translation here for me today, because I felt really good. I felt really capable. I could feel that when I was behind Chris, I had a little bit more pace, and I didn't really want to make a dumb send and ruin it on all of us there. So that worked out, and just from kibitzing with him, I think I attacked the pit entry a lot more than he did, because I had it down to 55 right at the line. It was like damn perfect, and he said that he was pretty conservative, and Mason must have been even more conservative than that. So yeah, we'll see, but really good outcome there.
Well, it seemed like one spot that you were really gaining on him, and it was kind of going back and forth between you two. It seemed like that McLaren was really good under braking. You were getting really deep into the corner. Hamilton was maybe getting a little bit better out of the corners with that Mercedes. Did you kind of feel that when you're in the car?
Yeah, I was categorizing it as infield versus speedway more than anything else. It's kind of hard to tell. I did feel like I was better in braking, but I also kind of just felt like I was generally a leg up throughout the whole infield. Mercedes puts power down better than McLaren as a baseline car. Like that's currently something in the balance of performance that the AMG has versus the McLaren. So that was a lot part of it. But I think what that actually ended up doing for me, because I was being so easy on the throttle on picking it up just about every other time, that I think it actually helps sustain the tires a little bit more. And I think throughout the last 2/5 of this race, I actually think my tires were a little bit better. I had to give a ton back at the last couple laps there because I was actually right on the number in fuel. And I deteriorated the gap down as much as I felt safe to do so, just to make sure I got to the line.
Now, the last question I got, and maybe I got a little confirmation as we watch you in the slow-mo here, going through the infield, and it seemed like every time I was watching you, you were just sideways through the kink in the infield. It seemed like that car was either sliding sideways or the back end was out. It looked like you were kind of dirt tracking a little bit. Is that something you felt going through there? Because it certainly looked like it almost every time going through there.
Yeah, definitely did. I would say I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, especially behind him in the kink. And then when I finally got the ability to see what the standing water on the track looked like, I could kind of see a little bit better what was out there. But the first time I did it, it was a real big yikes moment. But right before the rumble strip on the exit of the kink on the right hand side, there was absolutely no standing water, and it gripped every single time except for one. I dropped one tire in the grass there. But it gripped every time, so I knew that, well, okay, I'll yaw it out here, but I think it's going to land, and it did land every time, thankfully.
That did, and got you landing into the top spot here tonight, so congrats again on the win. Who do you want to give a shout-out to or thanks to?
Yeah, huge thanks to everybody here, CSRL admin team. We finally got our rain race. In my words, I would say we finally got our rain race done. But that's a subjective opinion, not one shared by the team. I'm glad that I'm glad it was at Daytona, and I'm glad, honestly, there was a few more incidents than normal, sure, but it seemed pretty overall calm. Huge thanks to you guys, Core Racing Network, as well. I can't wait to watch this back, because I'm sure it's going to watch really well no matter what. I enjoy these races no matter what the result is, but I think a race like this is covered so well by broadcast teams, much more than we can even ever interpret in the cars. So look really forward to that. All the competitors that show up, all the viewers, you guys at CRN, Mom, Dad, Aunt Sandy, Chris, my girlfriend Anna, Uncle Lee, everybody that tunes in and supports me. And I got to thank TCSP, DSS, Studio 3, Martin PC as well. And I'm currently 1 for 1 on 40 Racewear sim racing gloves as well. So that's a nice little plug there. Huge shout out Jim Herrick for all he does for us.
Absolutely, and wish him well in the competition. He's going to be coming up in as well.
Yeah, oh my gosh, all these dudes.
Yeah,
all these dudes in
that's pretty
the
cool.
Sim Racing Expo racing is amazing. So I look forward to hearing all about their stories over the next month.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again on another win. We'll let you go celebrate, and we'll see if you can do it again next week.
Yeah, 10-4, boys. Have a good one.
That is your winner here tonight. It's Greg Jancic in the 88. Top spot in the gold division is going to go to Dave Tilford. And Dave, you had another good race out there. I mean, really kind of one mistake, at least, that we noticed going through the race there, and getting a little bit wide in turn one, and then looping it a little bit. But I mean, other than that, it almost felt like you could have been maybe competing for a podium overall here tonight. That number 12 was fast out there tonight.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Really, I was just trying to be safe overall. It's been a while since I've done a lot of wet racing. It's not something I really seek out on the service. So, as you know, I haven't enjoyed the wet endurance races too much, at least as far as the luck has gone. But yeah, I mean, tonight qualifying was interesting because it was wet, but not wet enough for wets at the beginning, and so really those first few laps were going to be the times that counted. And I had some traffic, but I managed to put in a decent lap to get up in the top 10 and stay out of a little bit of the traffic and the chaos. So that was good. And really, then after that, just trying to stay on the road and keep it straight was all I was doing.
Yeah, how big was that qualifying effort that got you so far up there? Because I mean, a track like Daytona, typically you don't really think that track position is going to mean that much. If you're faster, you're going to find a way around, whether it's braking or whether it's drafting and getting that pass done. But here in the rain, you want to draft and you want to get that speed, but if you're drafting, you can't see anything out there. So I mean, I would assume the track position was absolutely vital here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, for me especially, I'm pretty cautious, and in the spray, I'm not one to send it very, very much. So I really wanted to be up there amongst the guys that I knew were gonna, be able to hold it on track and keep it steady, just to be able to trust them. And not that everyone else can. It's just the further back you get, the more spray there is, and the more chaos, and it's crazy back there. And so add that to trying to get around people, and that doesn't make for a good time. So I think the qualifying was huge for sure. Felt like from there, really, it was just survive and do marginally as much as you can. I don't know that I don't remember making any real passes on track without mistakes in front. So that's really what it was about tonight.
Well, I would think one thing that maybe helped was the fact that you guys started in the rain and finished in the rain. There was no transition phase. I know I believe you guys started in the dry in practice, but pretty soon, maybe halfway through practice, it already started to rain. And by qualifying, I know my SDK here, the overlays were saying half the drivers were on dries, half were on wets. Were there any dry laps in qualifying, or was it just straight to wets?
There were dry laps, yeah, for sure. Actually, the front running guys were on dries the whole time in quali. It was a little wetter at the end, so I don't think they were able to put any faster laps than they had early on. For the most part, there were a few that did. But yeah, definitely dries in qualifying. So that was an interesting twist with the dries on a lightly wet track.
Well, you get it done here tonight. You get a top 5 overall, and maybe what could have been if you didn't have that one little mistake, maybe even a top 3 overall. But it's got to feel good finishing up here and grabbing another gold class win. So congrats on the class win here tonight. Before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Shout out to you in the booth, and especially to everyone watching. To my beautiful wife, 19-year anniversary this week, and for my whole family kind of supporting me and putting up with me disappearing up here to do racing a few nights a week. And yeah, just enjoy everyone racing out there, and really a pretty clean race from what I saw for the most part. So enjoyable. So thanks, everyone.
Well, congrats from CRN to you and the wife, and good job remembering as well. So we'll let you go celebrate the top spot here tonight, and we'll see if you can get back up here again next week.
All right, thanks.
That is your winner here in the gold class and a top 5 overall to Dave Tilford in the 12. Winner in the silver class is going to go to William Burrell. And Bill, you had quite a bit of time, not just in front here in the silver class, which I think you led the entire way silver class wise, but you spent quite a bit of time up there in the top 10 overall as well.
Yeah, I did tonight. So qualifying, I think, was key, and I happened to put in a good lap. And generally I'm a little bit further back, but the rain, I got a lap in before it got hard, and I did it on dries, and I got my lap in. So I'll say it kind of put me out of position. I was a little further up than I usually am, and I was just hoping to stay out of a turn 1 fiasco. And if I did that, I just ran my own race. I'm generally not the fastest guy out there, but when it comes to rain, it kind of levels the playing field, and I don't have to slow down quite as much. So I think it kind of helps me a little bit. But had a couple of incidents there. I think it was lap 19. I almost rear-ended Paul. He's slowing down for me, and I couldn't see him, and just sheer luck let me miss him. And at the end, I actually have my screen saved right now. Dan passed me and beat me by .002, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe we should bring him in and interview him instead, since he was able to just smoke you at the line right there. And it was kind of funny. We were watching you for most of that final lap there, coming out of NASCAR 1 all the way to the end, and kind of almost kind of chatting to Jimmy, chatting to myself a little bit, wondering is he going to actually race Dan here all the way to the line, or it's for overall position, but he's got the silver locked up by 30 seconds. Does he actually want to race him to the line? And I'll be damned if you guys didn't side draft your way all the way to the line.
I'm gonna always race for position. I'm not trying to win the silver division. It'll be nice if I ever get there and do that and move up a little bit. But I saw it was for position. I did have a chat with him on the radio before we went in the bus stop. I said, "Don't wreck me." And so I literally didn't look at my braking spot. I was looking to see when he brake. Yep. And once I saw him do it, I got on mine, and then there was a car in front of us, and I don't know who it was, and it messed up my timing coming out. So I think that's where that time was at. But I'm not unhappy about that. It's a pretty cool finish either way.
Yeah, it looked like you were maybe a little bit tentative going through the bus stop there in that final lap, understandably.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Well, you had a hell of a race here. It's rain or not, doesn't matter. You had a great race out here, running a bunch of laps up here in the top 10, which is not easy to do with all the talent out here, and even finishing as high as you did. Even though Dan beat you at the end, it was still worth a great finish out here. So congrats on the class win. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I appreciate it. I want to give a shout out actually to 4D Racewear. They guys, they let me be on their team, and so I have new livery, and I like my Marlboro style livery, but I put 4D on the hood. I had Jim change that up for me, and to give him a little love. And racing with those guys now here, and also in one of the other divisions, an IndyCar race league I run with them, is pretty nice. Starting to become part of the community a little bit more now, and making some good connections. I always want to shout out to Simcraft for putting down an awesome simulator. One day hopefully I'll do it some justice, but I do the best I can. And Jim Herrick is going to be racing this Saturday in the Sim Gaming Expo race. I'm an alternate, so I doubt I'll get to make it. But if anybody listening is going to be at that Sim Expo, I know Simcraft is going to be there, and hit up TJ, and they'll give you a ride, and it's pretty awesome. And lastly, I'd like to, my wife, she lets me do this, 3 nights a week without fail. And we just had our 40th wedding anniversary, and she lets me do it. And my mom and all of her friends and my friends give a lot of support to me, and, CSRL as well, So I appreciate the family, helping me out as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and congratulations to you as well. I know Dave Toford said his 9th anniversary is going to be coming up here, or 19th anniversary is going to be coming up here this week. So you got him doubled up in that respect right there. So congrats to you guys as well. Well, let's go celebrate and see if you can kind of keep this hot streak going. I know you've been doing pretty well even these last couple of weeks, but this is the best we've seen you out there so far. Of course, as we're ending your interview here is when we see you slide sideways out of the bus stop. So no better time to end the interview than right now. So
sounds good.
So congrats again here tonight. We'll see you next week.
Appreciate it.
That is your silver class winner here tonight, the 21 William Burrell. Last one we're going to get to here tonight is going to be the man that, whether he wanted to start in the back or not, he made his way to the front, and that is the 666 Leo Gausha. Leo, you started back there, didn't put a time in. I guess we'll start there. What was the plan to go for the Chris Burrell Hard Charger Sandbagger Award here tonight and just not qualify, or were the qualifying efforts just not up to snuff tonight?
Yeah, just we decided to just hang back, play safe. Didn't want to hurt the car, in quality rounds so we can make the race. So yeah, decided to just hang back. We'll figure. At first, we planned to probably start from the pit lane. Then we saw our actual position for the race. I was like, let's take it. Let's start on the grid and see what happens.
Well, you made your way up 26 positions, and really you were close to getting up even further than that. You were close to getting up there in the top 5 and finish this thing out just on an absolute high note, I would think. But I mean, we talked to some of the other drivers here, and it was track position that was paramount because of all the spray. I mean, how just insane was it from starting back that far and having that many cars in front of you dealing with all that spray and trying to make those passes all night?
Yeah, it's definitely pretty tricky, especially when you're trying to navigate through all that traffic. Turn 1, horseshoe, kink, going through the bus stop. It's definitely very difficult. Just having to kind of be strategic, play safe. Respect everyone's race. We're all in the same race together. So just being really strategic about the movements I made and just planning my route out ahead of time, making myself known, and kind of worked out for me.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well. And like I said, almost getting all the way up there into a top 5. So you guys are done with the rain races now, and you head to another, most likely a familiar track, Road Atlanta, next week. How do you fancy your chances there? Is it another race where you want to start from the back and try and work your way through, or are you going to try and put down a lap time?
No, Road Atlanta is my home race for me, so we'll definitely be out towards the front of the field for sure. Probably a little bit of practice going into the rest of the week to plan for that, and hopefully be up on the front row and maybe finally take a pole position and a win.
Absolutely. I believe unless I'd seen something in the last couple of laps, I believe you might have had the fastest lap here tonight, which is not exactly easy to do. I know you had the Mercedes out there. It seemed to be a pretty stable car here in the rain. I know we've seen Chris Hamilton up there leading in his Mercedes, but how did you feel in the Mercedes yourself tonight?
Yeah, the Mercedes was actually really great. It's really, when you're driving a German car in the rain, everything lines up for you, right?
Exactly.
So you just have to kind of take it a little bit easy. The car is very forgiving. You just have to kind of be mindful of the throttle, use the brakes accordingly, not powering them down, just kind of let it roll, kind of position itself in the corner and then plan for the exit.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats on a heck of a run through the field here tonight, and some just not nice conditions. So, congrats on the Chris Burrell Hard Charger Sandbagger Award winner here tonight. Before we let you go, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I just want to give a shout out. Thanks to all you guys here at the Quarter Racing Network and the CSRL. Really just appreciate you guys putting on a good lead for me every week and allow me to come in and when I can get a position to race for my in real life stuff and get a nice good break. Come on here, have a good race with everyone. Everyone's respectful. So I appreciate literally everyone involved in the whole program and the entire series.
All right, buddy. We'll let you go and get out of here. We'll see you next week at Road Atlanta. See what you can put on. What kind of show you can put on over there.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
That is one heck of an effort here from Leo Gausha here tonight in the 666, starting back there in 32nd position, getting all the way up there, almost into the top 5. I want to thank everyone out there again for tuning in to CSRL tonight. Again, this was race number 7 of the series and getting close to the end here as we got Road Atlanta, VIR, Hockenheim, and then the 2-hour season finale at Indianapolis. Only 4 more rounds to go before we start crowning our champions here for season number 13. Hit that like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And again, like Jimmy said, if you're looking for some more racing action already underway over there at the Pit Road Speed Limit series as they are running the next gens at Talladega tonight. So that's where I'm going to be heading. Hopefully we'll see some of the over there as well. But for myself and Jimmy here at the Daytona International Speedway, we'll see you at the track.